Things were pretty nice and peaceful in his day, from all I hear. And he started my collection. Now, here the narrator is talking about his grandfather. He had heard that times during his grandfather were quite peaceful and nice. And it was his grandfather only who had helped him to start his stamps collection. Start his collection. It's a nice collection too. He likes his collection. Blocks of 4 of practically every US issue. Now he had, probably here blocks means set of 4 stamps. He had all the issues, all the type of US stamps which were issued. First day covers and so on. Now first day covers are envelopes on which the stamp collectors buy new stamps on the first day of their sale or issue. They paste these stamps on envelopes and generally put a blank paper in the envelope because these envelopes are rarely opened, and these envelopes they write their own address on it and post it. They post it so that the stamp on these envelopes gets the post office stamp over it. When the post office stamp is put, the date is also mentioned in these stamps. So the value of such envelopes becomes quite more. The value increases. So he had number of first day covers also. President Roosevelt collected stamps too, Now he says that even the president had this hobby of collecting stamps. Anyway, here's what happened at Grand Central. One night last summer, I worked late at the office. One night last summer, he had worked late in his office. I was in a hurry to get uptown to my apartment. Now he was in a hurry to get home, get back to his apartment. Uptown is a residential area which is away from the center of the city. So I decided to take the subway from Grand Central because it's faster than the bus. So because he wanted to reach home soon, he decided to take the railway. Subway is the underground railway system. So he decided to take underground railway train to his home. This is faster than the bus. Now I don't know why this should have happened to me. I'm just an ordinary guy named Charlie. Now he says that I don't know why this incident, whichever incident he's going to mention, this happened to me only because I'm just a simple ordinary person, 31 years old, and I was wearing a tan gabardine suit and a straw hat with a fancy band. Now he's an ordinary person and he was wearing a tan. Tan is a kind of a yellow shade tint, and gabardine is closely knit fabric. He was wearing a suit of closely knit fabric and a straw hat with a fancy band. Fancy here is fashionable strip on it. Band is strip on it. I passed a dozen men who looked just like me. There were many other people also who looked like him. He was just an ordinary person, and I wasn't trying to escape from anything. He was not trying to escape from anything. He was not trying to run away from anything. I just wanted to get home to Louisa, my wife. All he wanted was to get home to his wife, Louisa. I turned into Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue and went down the steps to the first level. Now he turned from Vanderbilt Avenue, this must have been a place, and went down the steps. He went down the steps to the first level. He had to go by underground railway, so he came down the steps, where you take trains like the 20th century. Then I walked down another flight to the second level. Then he got down another flight of stairs to the second level, where the suburban trains leave from. Now from this station, from the second level, that is, when he came down the second flight, from there the suburban trains leave from. That is, trains which come from the outskirts of the city. Ducked into an arched doorway. Ducked, he bent and got under a curved doorway, heading for the subway, going towards the subway, and got lost. From there, he did not know where he landed up. He got lost. That's easy to do. He says it's not difficult to lose yourself here. It must have been a very big station. I've been in and out of Grand Central hundreds of times, but I'm always bumping into new doorways and stairs and corridors. So he says that it is not difficult to lose yourself in stations such as Grand Central, because he has been to this station hundreds of times, but still number of time he comes across doorways and stairs and corridors which he does not recognize. So there must have been many stairs and many corridors. Once I got into a tunnel about a mile long and came out in the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel. Once he had lost himself and he entered a tunnel, and that was 1 mile long, and that tunnel came into the lobby of Roosevelt Hotel. Lobby is the sitting place, reception of the Roosevelt Hotel. Another time I came up in an office building on 46th Street, 3 blocks away. And there was another time when he lost himself on the station, and when he came out on 46th Street, 3 blocks away. So the railway station must have been like a maze of corridors and doorways and stairs. Sometimes I think Grand Central is growing like a tree, pushing out new corridors and staircase like roots. Sometimes he feels that the Grand Central railway station was growing like a tree. It was growing and new corridors were coming up and staircase, they were also being developed, and it was becoming like a tree with roots which spread. There's probably a long tunnel that nobody knows about feeling its way under the city right now. He feels that probably there's a tunnel which nobody knows about, and it is right under where they are walking, on its way to Times Square and maybe another to Central Park. He says maybe there are tunnels which lead to Times Square and Central Park also, and maybe because for so many people through the years, Grand Central has been an exit. Now he feels that maybe it is because Grand Central has been a place from where people can go, they can really exit, a way of escape. They can go, they can move wherever they want to. Maybe that's how the tunnel I got into. He says maybe that is how even I got into that tunnel, but I never told my psychiatrist friend about that idea. He had this idea, it was just his imagination. He never spoke of this to his psychiatrist friend. The corridor I was in began angling left and slanting downwards, and I thought that was wrong. But I kept on walking. All I could hear was the empty sound of my own footsteps, and I did not pass a soul. Now, he felt strange because the corridor was slanting, it was angling left to the left side. It was slanting downwards, it was turning. And I thought that was wrong. He felt that something was wrong. But I kept on walking. He kept on walking all the same. All I could hear was the empty sound of my own footsteps, and I did not pass a soul. He could hear only his own footsteps. That means he could not see anyone around. There was no one around there. I didn't pass a soul. A soul is a person. He did not see any person there. Then I heard that sort of hollow roar ahead. That means open space and people talking. Then he heard sounds. Hollow roar. Roar here is noise, which meant that in front of him there was open space and there were people, they were talking, and there was a crowd. The tunnel turned sharp left. Now the tunnel suddenly turned sharp left. I went down a short flight of stairs. There also he found stairs again. This was the third flight of stairs. So he got down those stairs and came out on the third level of at Grand Central Station. Now after climbing down, moving down the flight of stairs, he came to the third level. For just a moment, I thought I was back on the second level, but I saw the room was smaller. There were fewer ticket windows. The train gates and the information booth in the center was wood and old looking. And the man in the booth wore a green eye shade and long black sleeves. First, he thought that probably he's again reached the second level only. But then he realized that the rooms were very small on the station, and the number of ticket windows were less, and the train gates and the information booth in the center was wooden and old looking, made in an old fashioned way, and the man in the booth wore a green eye shade and long black sleeve. And then he noticed that the man at the booth was wearing green eye shade and long black sleeves, which was not of the present kind, present style. Sleeve protectors. The lights were dim and sort of flickering. That means it was not electricity, it was probably the candles or the lamps burning, because the light was flickering, the flame was moving, and so the light was dim also, it was not bright. Then I saw why they were open flame gas lights. Why the light was flickering? Because they were open flame gas lights. The flame was moving, because of which the light was flickering.